Lunatic from Fish Circuits is a gated fuzz pedal that will provide you with classic fuzz tones, but also with a dose of wildness. Now, me personally, I've truly never had a really great relationship with fuzz pedals in general. I'm just very picky about them, and I think the reason being is because the ones I've used previously, they weren't just straight up and classic fuzzes. They were more on the wild side of the fuzz realm. They were just too insane and sort of hard to control with the rig that I had. I just love classic sounding pedals and amps, but maybe with a little hint of modernness or craziness rather than the other way around. But that's exactly what this pedal is. It's classic, straight to the point, but has a few little extra features for that madness. And that's exactly what you're gonna be hearing in this video. And if you dig this video at any point, please consider subscribing. So I'm first gonna do an overview of all of the knobs and switches, and then I'll do the sound demos. That way you'll have a better sense of what to listen for when I flip them. So as you can see, we have 2 knobs and 2 switches. The first knob is chaos and the second knob is level. So the chaos basically lets you dial the character of the pedal, blending between 2 different circuits. You obviously always start at noon. This is where it's the warmest, sort of the mildest sounding fuzz. But once we sort of crank up the chaos, as you can imagine, gets a little bit more crazy. And this is what I was talking about, where we sort of stray away from the more classic sounding fuzzes. They say ring modded, it's kind of a little bit octave upped, very, very mid heavy, and that will just completely take over your sound. And they say not to fight it, which is hilarious. But of course, once we dial this all the way back to the left, this is sort of my favorite realm and what I really think this pedal shines its brightest. It's just your classic fuzz circuit. So we have more mid-heavy on the right side and then a lot more brightness on the left. Now the level is basically just the volume. You can sort of tweak this wherever you'd like. It can get extremely loud, so just be careful, but you can sort of mess with different knob combinations and get a bunch of different fun sounds. Now onto the switches. Now the body switch, that basically allows a certain amount of bass frequencies that will run through the circuit. So obviously the lower setting and the bigger the circle will give you a much more fuller and rich sound, whereas the top position, it will roll off that low end, just tightens everything up a little bit. This is a lot better for recordings if you're playing with a whole band. It takes away those lower frequencies. There's a lot less mud. So when I've recorded with this pedal, I've used the top position. But if you want that messy mudness, bring that down, bring the chaos all the way up. Dear God, now we're getting into crazy territory. Now they do mention, which I really appreciate, it's really all dependent upon your amp. And also if you're stacking other overdrives and other pedals, your best bet is to leave it here. Now onto the fuzz. This is actually a gain control. So the bottom position, the minus symbol, will allow for a more tame and they say domesticated tone. And that's obviously all dependent upon where the chaos knob is. Ton of insane feedback. The whole gated part of the fuzz is most likely gonna be gone with most rigs. And just to get a better look at the top of this pedal, simple enough, super classic and beautiful looking. I love this color blue that they use, and it's also not a flat design. As you can see, it's angled up. So now that you have a better understanding of what all these do, let's hear it in action. Now, not only does this pedal sound great, but it's a really cool looking pedal. It has a really great enclosure. Very boutique, very vintage looking. It is a little bigger, especially taller than most other pedals. For example, this is just like a standard size pedal. It's just a reverb pedal. You can see the difference. And then this is actually another pedal from Fish Circuits. You can see that this one is just a little taller, but they're about the same width. So if you don't have much room on your board, it might be hard to put on there. You might have to get rid of a pedal or two, but honestly, that's not a terrible issue to have. Now, who do I think this pedal is mainly for? If you're a classic guitarist that just likes a classic fuzz with maybe a little bit more options to tweak certain sounds, 1000% for you, because it is 1000% for me. But if you're more into like the crazy side of fuzzes and you like that insane madness, like octave ups and things like that, then this probably isn't exactly for you, but it still provides just an overall killer fuzz sound. You could also tone stack if you wanted to. So this is definitely a lot more milder compared to other pedals that I've played, especially over the past 5 years. Now, I know I didn't demo this through a bunch of amps. I only demoed it through my tube amp. I've played this thing through Marshalls. I've played this thing through Fenders, even Voxes, and I did so in rehearsal spaces. This thing has been the most accurate and very consistent fuzz pedal I've used across multiple amps, which does not happen very often. It's a really great looking pedal. It sounds great. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I really think you would too. So please let me know what your thoughts are on this pedal down in the comments below. And also let me know if there are any other pedals that you'd like to see me demo. Please check out some of these other videos that I've done. And thanks as always for watching. I'll see you in the next video.